Okay, I'll tell you my age. I am 47.
No way!
I am. Yes, I get that a lot. Yeah. I was born and raised in Venezuela. It's funny that when I say it, I get very, I was born and raised in Venezuela, but that's how it feels like. And Switzerland, I lived there for more than a decade, and recently, and I've lived also in Spain and US. And now I'm in Colombia. Yeah. I've spent some time in Asia this year as well.
For how long have you been circling?
In 2014, I think, and that was in Switzerland. So I was still living there. Switzerland is my second home, and that's what I led the community for some years there. And that's when I started. It's funny. I started doing. It was not an intro. It was not just a session. It was a whole weekend. So I arrived on Friday night and stay through the whole weekend. And I never looked back. Essentially, I actually fell in love with the practice.
One thing that matters to you in your practice.
It matters to me how much what is the connection I have with myself in the moment. Where am I coming from? What's behind my questions? Where the source of what I'm saying is, and knowing that. Yeah.
One thing you love about circling.
I love one thing that's coming to me. It's attunement, and it seems to always get back to how much attuned I am with myself. And this attunement has done wonders in my life, literally. I even have a port in my body. It's in my lower belly. And in the practice, in practicing it, there was a point in which I decided, you know what, you drive. I told this place, like, in my body, I'm going to drive my decisions and the things I do in my life. I want to originate from there. And even in the most challenging situations, to have this, there's something really solid about that.
One of your most challenging memories.
I think it's been in the resistance of strong emotions. It still happens sometimes, like knowing that there's anger coming to me, or there's this deep grief coming to me, or maybe even more daunting to me, it's not knowing what's coming. So I don't even know what I'm getting into. And being in the resistance, that's challenging. The more I do this, the more I notice, the more I just let myself be led into the actual emotion. Once I get there, it's never that bad. I think the most challenging part was the resistance. I had, at the beginning, when I started practicing, there's a lot of challenges in there. Yeah. I think I accompany myself much better in that now. Yeah. Yeah.
I love it. It's never that bad.
It's never as bad as I thought. Yeah. As I think it's going to be, this rage. This is going to be bad. I'm going to destroy, or I'm going to insult people, or I'm going to scream, or there's going to be some sort of, there's some bad fantasy about some separation, bad separation. And what happens is the opposite. What happens is actually the opposite. There's reconnection, there is connection in that.
Do you have mentors?
It changes a lot for me. I remember being really into Gary Zukav. He's a writer, and I would just read all of his books, all of his articles, watch all of his videos. Right now, I'm very much into bioaccumulation. It's this, yes, this guy. He's just, and I'm reading his books right now. We even have some ladies and we even have a book club, and we get together and we read it together. I get very, once I choose one, I get very focused, and I just consume all of the information about it.
Mm.
And then somebody else comes into my awareness, and I focus on that. Yeah.
One of the things that circling brought you as an individual.
It brought me more of myself to me. Everything, it let me see everything that I'm not. All these stories that I make up, or that my mind makes up. I think one amazing, awesome thing about circling is that we can take this story that we have and put it here and look at it and dialogue with it and see how I interact with it. And once I do that, it loses the grasp on me. It loses its power on me. It's different. It's different. And also in connecting with others, just to be able to see my blind spots. I don't have eyes on my back. I cannot see everything off me, and seeing it reflected on me. I think that's beautiful. Also, when I am the one reflecting that onto others. Mm.
One of your most vulnerable moments.
What happens to me? Sharing what it seems terrifying to go to. Sharing that which is surrounded by a lot of shame. Yeah, it's just not one thing. It's just that moment in which I decide, do I go forward with this or not? But this is quite challenging. Yeah, sometimes it still is. But it's beautiful how what I've seen the difference with all these years in the practice is how I hold myself in it. Like I can feel myself more gentle, kinder to myself in the holding of those challenging moments. I think the harshness is not as harsh, and if it's harsh, then I have the ability, or I can dialogue with the harshness and the sometimes cruelty too.
What tip or advice would you give to a new circler?
Oh, that's funny. I'm thinking of myself at the beginning, and I also see it here in the platform. People come already with a very somber attitude because I think there's idea or this story or this impression that we come here to work on the painful stuff, on the very serious, difficult, heavy stuff, and I would say to myself, and I like to share that here as well to beginners to relax. This can also, and it is a playful place. It can also be easy. It can also be a place of ease, a place of joy. Like, I'm talking about that preconception of coming here only for that. It's just to open up to the possibilities that let's just go there the way I go to a meeting with friends and see what happens. Let's see what comes up. And it also like, oh, I come here to grow, or I come here to get rid of the shame or the anger or the grief. It's about that, like to look into that a little bit more, I would say.
One thing that you're excited to share.
Lately there are two things. Lightness. There's something about lightness lately that it's really catching my attention. Like there was recently a very amazingly beautiful, rich, playful session, and we started with chewing gum flavor preferences. And it's just funny where we got to, and how we even mentioned that people said, how did we get here? How did we get this deep, starting from there? And we soared in that session in a beautiful wave of innocence, tenderness. There was something else. There's something else I wanted to share too. Oh yeah, it's something I'm really looking into lately. It's, you know how we lean into these voices that, they're not enough voices, I'm not worthy, or and then looking into, okay, that's, people usually say, and I say that too, like, oh, one part of me feels this way, but what is the other part saying or doing? That's one part. What is the other part doing, and how can I lean into that? Can I, or somebody says, oh yeah, i'm I'm feeling okay right now, I'm feeling good, but one part does feel scary. Usually this is what happens, is we lean into, oh, I wonder what's scared, or what's that part about. Lately I find myself leaning into, okay, yeah, that part is scared, what's happening with the other part? Like, I want to lean also, I've been leaning a lot here, I want to lean into the other part. I'm into that exploration, and I'm excited, really excited about this. There's quite a lot of potential there. Resources. I'm excited about resources lately. Yeah.
What else are you passionate about?
A traveler. Um, and for some reason in the last few years, it's more than traveling. And I actually stay and live in countries for a few months. And then I continue. That's been a passion. There's something, is I feel it in this moment. There's something really invigorating, that it comes alive in me in a new place, new flavors, new people, new um, new smells as well. All of it, the whole experience is. It's. I'm also, something that's coming to me as well is, I started dancing again. I like salsa, and I haven't done it in a long, long time, and I feel a bit like, it's like a rebellious group in social distancing. It's quite a rebellious act to decide we're going to do this, and we're doing it in the safest way possible. We're using the masks. We're not touching. Dancing salsa with not touching. It's quite an experience. I'm quite touched when I talk about it, because I can feel the longing in my body for that expression, for the movement, for the joy to actually live it in my body. That's really important to me right now. I'm 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 yeah. I feel the energy right now at my body, being very thankful for that, appreciating that right now. there are two things really important for me come to mind. One is, this is a constant reminder for me, like, we are here right now sitting together, and after this session with you, I'm going to run errands, and my intention is to bring this presence I have here with you and take it with me. So this is happening to me all the time. Like, I do things and then I sit here and I'm in presence, and apparently I take it with me. It's like I come here for fuel, for reminding myself, this is how I connect to myself, this is how I connect to you, this is the quality of how I am feeling right now, and having that presence with me. It sounds simple, but to me it's everything.
Yeah.
Something I love about this practice is that it never ceases to surprise me.
I didn't hear it.
It's yeah, it never ceases to surprise me. Like, I'm always surprised, even when I think, even when I have this is where we're going with this, and then we're not. So I love that. I love my blind spots, that even when I know, this is familiar, I know this in me, and then I see another aspect of it and it's new. I never get tired of this. Yeah. And I love when that happens, when I see that happening for other people as well. Like, wow, it was always here, and this is the first time I see it.